Okay, great. Well, as already mentioned, good morning to everybody. I think it's good that I get a chance to explain or clarify a little bit the business that I'm working with at the moment, because I think during my elevator pitch last week, I caused more confusion than anything else. So I put together, I think, 8 slides in total, so 10 minutes should be fine, just to explain at a fairly high level what I'm trying to do and who I'm trying to do it for. I must excuse my voice this morning. It's not alcohol induced. This is hay fever that's really kicking my behind at the moment. So the company's name is BizDash. The concept came about when I was sitting maybe half a dozen or so years ago now in my last job in an office. I was based in Beijing at the time, and I was wondering what tools exist to help a manager, an executive, a junior manager, a future manager in being better at what they do. And I came to the conclusion that really one didn't exist. It's obviously a big ask because management by definition incorporates, especially general management, incorporates generally everything. Now, there is a multitude of tools we do use, and I think everyone will be familiar with the common tools, the Microsoft Office suite, the various MRP, ERP, DRP systems that exist, and there's a huge amount of project management and time management tools available at the moment. But I was looking for something where I could create a tool that would give me an overview, a very quick snapshot overview of everything that mattered in the organization I was managing at a glance. That's how the system came about. A little bit of information about myself. I left school at 16, went straight into an industry which is the valves, actuators, and controls industry. And I've been in that industry ever since. I've spent 30 years in management positions. I've worked obviously in the UK, but I've actually worked and lived in half a dozen different countries, primarily in Asia. I've worked for medium-sized, large-sized Fortune 500 companies during that time, which were owned by different nationalities. So I've had what I would class as a great experience and access to a lot of different management cultures. If you would ask me what is my expertise during all my time at work when I was employed, I would say it was primarily operations. Most of my roles were in operations, although I have had sales roles. Project management, I've ran a few major-sized projects. People development is something that I've always focused on as a leader. And startups and turnarounds would be a particular passion. Things I like doing, I like helping others. I like coaching people. To this day, I still got a lot of my ex-colleagues and employees who contact me several years after I left the last job. And in some cases, 10 or 15 year ago relationships where people are still coming on asking for help and feedback. Something I love doing. And hobbies, well, this is a great time of the year if you're a football, or if you're a passionate football fan. I am. I also like rugby. I read a huge amount. I probably read a book a week, sometimes 2 books a week. So continuous learning is a passion. And also one of the things I picked up and enjoyed when I was in Asia was something called Qigong. Okay, over to the system. On the right, you can see a picture, which is a snapshot of the system which I sell. It's a visual management system. It's wall mounted. It's a method of communicating key information and data so that the manager or the people he's sharing it with can understand and interpret very quickly and easily the state of play with the business. One of the benefits of visual is if you're using visual tools where things are color coded and interactive, it's a lot more brain friendly in terms of retention. It's a lot better for remembering things when you're physically interacting with the chart, moving things around, adding things, writing things, and then using color. These are all benefits to retention, which means you can go away from your office desk And all those key elements should remain with you if someone does happen to ask for a status update of X, Y, or Z. It's flexible to set up. There's no one way to set up. The setup is primarily based on the client's particular challenges, the type of business they have, their structure, etc. And that's something that I would work with them on, setting this up and supporting for the first 3 months with email or telephone support. It was originally designed to be used at the highest level of management. I was a managing director of a company at the time when I created it, and it worked very, very well for me. But I then also saw the benefits of driving it down a level to my management team. So my sales director, my director of operations, supply chain, finance. I could see a lot of value in driving it down a level. Whereas if they were all connected with the same common goal, even though the projects, tasks, meetings, issues might be different on each chart, they were all tied to a similar common concept. It's customizable in its design. What you see there is the standard I've created. Some people may want to have their own coloring system, corporate colors. They may want to have their own logo. They may want to change the design. It is flexible, and I'm happy to work with people on that as and when there's a need. What I've tried to do in the whole system is to create it around what I call the 4 pillars. I think as a leader, if you can master or get a handle on your own time management, create an environment of project management, because I firmly believe that managing projects is the single best learning tool in a business environment. You've got your metrics right. You've identified the right metrics for that particular corporate goal or objective for that year. And you know what your organization do. You've got it structured and resourced correctly. If you've got those 4 things sorted, you're in good shape as a leader. And I've tried to do that with this particular tool. So the system components, if you were to break it down as to what is the system itself, it's a wall-mounted magnetic chart. Its size is currently 8:2 is the optimal size I've found. So this will attach directly to a whiteboard in a manager's office or a whiteboard in the conference room. It can be removed easily and taken to another office or to another environment if necessary. It comes with all of the necessary accessories, project tabs, stickers, mounting kits to wall mount it if you need to wall mount it. It obviously comes with a setup call, which could be up to several hours, depending on the complexity of the situation. And that would also give continuous email support for a period of 3 months with different hacks and different things to consider away from the norm, which might deliver additional value to the user depending on their situation. Okay, so a little bit about the company. It's very recent. I only registered the company at the end of last year, so effectively it's only 6 months old. It's a business-to-business model. It's a product and a service. Primarily, the focus is on the product, which is the system you've just seen. There would be consulting service opportunities around that. Target customers are senior executives. Target industry, I've targeted industrial, engineering, and manufacturing. I've tried to niche this down to specific industries in the early stages in specific locations. And again, I'm targeting the north of England initially. That will expand at some point based on how successful I am with that niche. The reason I've done the niche industry is those are the industries that I've been in for all of my working career. So building relationships, building trust, I think a big part of that is being able to speak the same language. And if I'm targeting those customers, I understand a lot of the terminology they use, a lot of the challenges they face, and a lot of the issues they're going to have. And my marketing plan, and this is in order of importance, LinkedIn primarily focused on, with direct mail and paid advertising coming joint second, really. But 70% of my efforts would be LinkedIn, with 15% of my efforts on direct mail and paid advertising. And my last slide, main challenges. I think a lot of the challenges I have will be similar, but one at the moment, I'm working together with Darren. I went with the landing page approach initially, thinking that may be the best approach. The more I've investigated, the more experience I've gained in this area. A website's critical, so I'm working on a website as we speak. Hopefully by the end of June, that will be ready. It's a new business with a fairly new concept, so trials and testimonials are important. The lead acquisition methodology, which I think a lot of us are here because of that very thing, is a main challenge. The tool is it's at its best when I can sit in front of a customer and talk them through it. So lack of physical interaction Zoom's a great tool, but it has limitations. So it's good news. COVID's going in the right direction. Hopefully I'll be able to sit in front of customers in the very near future. And strangely enough, a challenge I deem as a challenge is lack of competition. I don't see a direct competitor. I can't find anybody doing the exact same thing anywhere. That's a problem for the reason that it's always good to research your competition, seeing what they're doing and which areas they're successful. But in the case of lack of competition, that obviously becomes more difficult. As the product becomes more established, lack of competition is a good thing if it's a good product. And that, Darren, is my last slide, and that should be about 10 minutes, I believe. Is there any questions before we move on?
One quick question, Steve. Will you share the website when it's up and running? Because the first thing I did was I had a look to see if I could find a website, because I'm itching to understand how it works. I'm a big whiteboard enthusiast.
Absolutely. I can send you the landing page I've got anyway, which gives some information, and I can send a PowerPoint. It's no big deal. There's no secret with it.
That would be great.
Once the website's up and running, I'll send it out to everybody.
Super. Thank you.